Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another live session with FASA. Joining me today is Dirk Cilliers, who you've met before. And I'm very pleased to be interviewing Dirk today. We're going to be chatting about the mindset, very much what it's been like to be a franchisee or a franchisor during this time, how to cope and the strategies behind that. So just to give you a bit of reference, Dirk Cilliers is the CEO and founder of Monkeynastix and has 125 franchise businesses across the world, focusing on movement, education, and on the holistic development of your child. Dirk also studied in Scotland and is a master life and business coach, NLP coach, and has a great understanding of how the mind works. And of course, operating a franchise business. So hello and welcome, Dirk.
Good morning, Romany. Hello, everybody. Wonderful to be here. Thank you for the opportunity again.
Good. And everyone, good morning out there. Lovely to have you with us. If you're with us, please let us know. Give us a shout out, give us a like, tell us where you are, and let us know some challenges that you've been facing and everything that is changing for you going forward. And that's the topic of our conversation, because, you know, operating 125 franchisees, gosh, that's a lot of businesses around the world that you have to cover and think about and be responsible for and support during this time. So what has it been like? You know, how are you guys doing?
We're doing okay at the moment. We're surviving. We're very pleased that we moved to lockdown level 2. So, yeah, I couldn't do it alone. First of all, I've got a fantastic executive team and I've got amazing franchisees. So as a group, we just stuck together through this time, and yeah, we're going to get through it, and we are already through it. So we're looking to the future with term 3 that's now finishing soon, and the rest of the year, and also planning for 2021.
Wow, and I tell you what, that is one thing that has stood out in both, because I interview both small businesses and franchise businesses, and that is one of the distinct differences that I've noticed is the moral support amongst the guys as a team, because, you know, you're all working together, part of the same community, part of the same vision, the same culture, and so you share a common goal of making it work. Whereas on the other side with small businesses, you don't have that, even though it's possible and people don't seem to see that you can work in collaboration. People are not aware of that yet, but I think it's more prominent and stands out in a franchise.
Absolutely.
So yes, what are the challenges? So now, you know, we're in level 2 lockdown and things are opening up a little bit, and obviously in the last few months, I imagine that you probably revised your strategy and your franchisees, and you had to probably a little bit of changes and repositioning. What does that look like now?
So our strategy has basically been since the beginning of the lockdown. First and foremost, for us to start from a calm perspective rather than chaos, because chaos was out there, and chaos is the opposite of clarity. Chaos comes naturally, but you have to go and look for clarity. And you can only find clarity if you operate from a calm perspective. So we started from a calm perspective. And then very, very important, or probably one of the most important things as part of our strategy, has been gathering information. Because only with correct information can we make decisions and plan to move forward. That's also very important about, I read this morning in my meeting with the franchisees, I quoted Sun Tzu, and Sun Tzu is a 5,000-year-old Chinese person that wrote the book The Art of War. And he compared the success to a natural organization like an ant colony. And that's basically 3 factors of success. And the first one is they have a clear purpose. The second one is they are information-centered. And the third one is they are totally flexible. And we had to adapt during this time. But the most important thing all the time has been having the correct information to work with, from our franchisees, from the schools, from the Department of Education, so that we can base our strategy on the correct information.
That is interesting, because I think there's been a lot of misguided information out there. And yes, I have to say, if I look at the last few months, I've also spent, even though I've been very busy, a large portion of my time always looking at the information, looking at what the current trends are, what the future trends are, what's been working, what is on people's minds. Would you say you've been doing something similar?
You know, we've done several surveys. We've also taken part in bigger surveys like of the SA Childcare Association and so on. We've done surveys specifically with our franchisees. We've done surveys with schools. We've done surveys with parents in order to use that information. During the height of the lockdown, I would say May and June, we did those surveys almost weekly, almost every second week, to get the information from the schools, from the parents, from the franchisees to strategize going forward.
Can I ask what type of information came out through all those? What has stood out the most?
The shocking aspect of that, or the most disturbing part of the information, is the amount of nursery schools that will not be reopening during the rest of this year.
Okay, sure.
And you know, our business is at nursery schools. That was probably in the region of half of the schools will not be opening in 2020 anymore. And in addition to that, the amount of parents that agreed that they will not be sending their kids back to school this year was also running into the almost 50%. So losing half of our venues and half of our members, meaning that we would drop probably to 25% of our membership. So
Sure.
that a little bit, and I think with level lockdown too, a lot of parents will be getting back to work, a lot of kids will be getting back to school. So that picture is looking a lot more positive than what it did during May and June.
So you reckon that parents were comfortable being able to teach their children at home and kind of, because they would have had to adapt to a new role. I mean, not just having the responsibility of working, but now that additional responsibility, having to teach your child, which in all honesty, I don't have children, but I just knowing from training people and thinking enormously about the responsibility of having a child when I did think about it. I knew that I didn't have the capacity to actually sit there and say, okay, right, I can teach adults, but I can't teach you to read and write.
No, for sure. You know, even us, we had to, within a week, get onto Zoom meetings, and we had to start making videos and talk about lighting and about background and about composition, and
yes.
Parents had to start doing online schooling and all those things, in addition to keep the pot going at home and running the household and maybe having their online job and stuff. So it was a huge learning curve for all of us.
It was.
To get online. So I really respect all the parents so much that now have to become teachers as well at home, in addition to everything else that they did. But you know, we learn, and that's going to be a skill that we retain as we go into the future.
Absolutely. And I think it's also given people an opportunity. I think people needed this push. Perhaps just to even be grateful for your teachers, because I think parents often are do not realize how much work and effort goes into teaching and raising a child and educating a child. And I think maybe hopefully that out there parents have come to a sense of understanding and would be grateful and appreciative of their teachers. I mean, even I find in my own work, people don't always realize the magnitude of what's involved to get a product from start to finish, just creating an image, how much work is involved, how much thought is involved, the processes that are involved, even the strategy behind what it is that you're doing. People don't understand and appreciate the enormous amount of vast work. I mean, even in your work, you know, teaching a child to move their bodies, being able to do that, and then prepping your franchisees, making sure that everything followed through and carried through. So hopefully that is a large takeaway that people will. What do you think, guys? You are out there. Let us know. Have you learned something out of this lockdown? Who have you appreciated? Who are you grateful for during this time?
Yeah. You know, I agree with you 100%, because part of our new system, I want to say, is educating the parents in order to educate the children. And it doesn't, not educating the parents, they are very educated in many cases, but educating them around, for our side, specifically children's movement. What is balance? What is coordination? What needs to happen first? What is proprioception? So a key part of our way going forward is educating the parents to educate the children so that they understand, in our case again, how movement works and what the simple things that they can do at home, just because they're now skilled and we've supplied them.
Absolutely. That's excellent, because, you know, and it's not saying that parents are stupid by any means. It's kind of, we all have our skill sets, you know, we all have our gifts. And at times we all have to sit and learn new things. I mean, even though I'm a professional in my field, I have to constantly upskill myself, learn new things, whether it be me taking a course and learning how to do something. And it's the same applies to any parents. I mean, your job is out there raising your child during the other days, but I can honestly tell you, if I had a child today, I would be in the same position. I would also feel very overwhelmed. I wouldn't know what to do. I mean, I can educate a person to a point, but there's things that teachers do that is just way over my head. So yes, I would say an important part of being able to equip you as a parent. So that's I would say.
Yeah, I feel that in the past that's maybe been neglected a little bit, because parents entrust the educators and the teachers to their children. And I think, you know, it's like somebody else is going to do it. But just to get a better understanding of the education system and what teachers actually do, and the systems that they use, and the results that they want to achieve eventually.
And it's been also a big adaptation for teachers as well. You know, they've had to start just chatting with a friend of mine who teaches. I mean, she said it's been quite a big shift for her, because normally she's in a class engaging with the students. She can see what they're doing. She can read their body language. She can pick up you know, that a child's falling behind over there and that one's like just zoning out, you know, or a child coming to school with a problem. She can pick those things up, whereas now behind the screen it's a lot harder, and she's had to prepare the lessons in such a way that is, you know, because it's different. It's a lot more prep work, she said. It's a hell of a lot more prep work. And I know from online training,
I tell you, in the last, since the lockdown, my executive team and my franchisees have probably worked double the amount of hours that we did before the lockdown, because we had so much more to learn and so much more to package to get out there. So it's been exciting time for us.
And I think for a marketer, online marketer, it might be handy for me, because maybe people will realize now why how much work goes into just putting together a webinar, how much work goes into putting a recording. It's not that easy and not that quick. Simple. Yeah. Can you just do that quick? No. It doesn't work like that. So, Robin, thank you for joining us. Thank you, and Sean as well. Sean has said it's been so, Robin says it's been so good, and Sean is saying we've learned so much. The main lesson is that frequent change and adaptation in our business is now the new normal. For me, I've always been adapting to change. That's been on my game all the time. So I think that's true, because as I observe a lot of businesses out there, they get into a rut and they stay in the same systems, the same processes, and they know they need to move forward, but it's just easier to do what you already know so that you can just keep afloat, because time, our most valuable commodity, seems to be in a lot more scarcity. And I think what I was sharing with you this morning, Dirk, is like, I'm going, oh gosh, there's not enough time, and I'm trying to change that quantum time.
Yeah. Listening to you, also something that popped up during this lockdown time with our strategy is the new economy, the new human economy. And we've applied that in certain ways. For example, we can't get back into nursery schools unless they are fully operational. So our franchisees went, actually we discussed that, and that was part of our plan, that our franchisees go to the schools and they ask them, what can we do for you? What can we do to help you to get going? Can we help with sanitizing, or maybe do this or that, or organize something, or different things that we first can do something for them before for us. And also an example of the new economy is one of my franchisees also brought that up. Her best friend is a hairdresser. So on Saturday morning, she goes and she works at the hairdresser. She does the whole sanitizing thing and makes sure the temperature and whatever. And at the end of the day, she gets a free haircut and a free coloring. So that's the new economy. Rather what you can do and like a bartering system, just to
Yeah.
get going again. Because it's not going to be about money, hey, and about the fees and everything around it. It's going to be about the new human economy and what you can do for others and what you can pay forward to get this whole massive financial system, if you want to call the human economy, turning again. And it's already there. Everybody's doing it. They don't
It's
even know
good.
new economy.
Yeah. That is good. I love that. And what does that human economy look like going forward? It's probably going to be more focused on customer experience, service experience, that personal touch, going the extra mile. And as you said, what can we do for others? I mean, even myself, working as a self-employed person and thinking about lots of different things and listening to my friends and listening to my business colleagues, I've also, what can I do for you? How can I help make your life a little easier? Or how can we work together to make things happen? And that's always been top of my mind throughout most of the things that I do. It's something that I kind of live by, and it's quite nice to realize that others are joining in that party.
It's a small thing, and also many thoughts that pop into my mind. One of our franchisees, her husband is a builder. So the husband went to a school to build a little wall there or fix a little wall just to get them going again. Not charging for it, just like going forward and paying it forward, just to get everything up and running. And people's been so enthusiastic about that. And we support that all the way still.
I love that. I love that. Creating opportunities, because that's the thing. A lot of people say, oh, no, I don't want to do this, or they're too afraid to share stuff, or they're too scared to spend money or to give of their time. But yet you're paying it forward. You know, it's how you are actually empowering someone else to pay it forward so that it makes life just a lot easier. And it does come back to you. It may not come in that direction, but in the long term it does. I mean, I've even had to learn. There was some stages of my life where I also felt, you know, I'm giving too much of myself, and so I had to learn, discern what I was and what I could. And I kind of think the best lesson that I walked away from that experience is that, yes, you need to invest your time wisely, and only do what you can do. Don't overextend yourself, because that's where things go wrong.
Yeah, no, for sure. For sure.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So, thinking about specifically my franchisee in Botswana, also part of our strategy, when the schools reopened, we said every franchisee must bake muffins or buy a milk tart or bake rusk and go to the schools and just drop it off there and say, we are here for you if you need anything. And the feedback, especially from the schools in Botswana, they couldn't believe we just arrived there with a cake and say, you know what, we can do for you. And that sort of opened. We are not there for the money and the pressure for them. We are there for the purpose that we serve, and that's to be back at school and educate those kids.
Exactly. And you know what I love, and I'm just hearing that, it's about the collaboration. You know, we're not in the same business. You do your business and I do my business. But sometimes it's how do we work together and collaborate together, so that, because at the end of the day, they are your client, they are your supporters, they are your cheerleaders. That, you know, we all fill that role with each other. I mean, even our relationship with each other, you know, you're Monkeynastix, you run your business, but how can I support you, and vice versa? And that's all the power of collaboration. I love that. Oh my goodness, those people must be over the moon.
You actually took the word collaboration out of my mouth now. So apart from starting from a calm perspective and the communication, and specifically the consistency that goes around that, during this time, every week, 9 o'clock, we have a meeting with our franchisees, is also the collaboration. And, you know, specifically amongst franchisees and franchise systems, that Monkeynastix could collaborate with Spur in terms of giving out toys or doing the movement part of that or whatever, that not at a cost, but just to pay it forward. And because we've got the network and the expertise, they've got the network and the expertise. So there's definitely a lot of things that we can work together as specific franchise systems going forward to save the franchise industry in this scenario.
I love that. That actually, you know, I love hearing that, because that's really what it's all about. And it's not always about the money, because at the end of the day, it's about how we're going to build each other's lives together. How do we come out of this stronger than we were before, than we went in? You know what I mean? And so I think those are the businesses that survive in the future. So thinking about Monkeynastix and the franchise opportunities, you've got quite a lot of things going on. So what does the future hold for nursery schools and extramurals, and what else can be done with greater franchise networks?
As I said earlier, the picture for the nursery schools don't look too promising because many of them have closed down or will be closing down. And the kids that's left behind out of those schools. But you know, the positive side of that is that many schools have reopened. Many kids are back. Many of the smaller extramurals that I found that's maybe not franchises have fallen away. So there's a massive opportunity for us as Monkeynastix to come in. With all our brands, with Monkeynastix in terms of franchise sales, now we've worked out amazing new franchise packages because our lesson plans have been adapted to social distancing lessons. There's not so much equipment involved. One of the superstars of our brands are Babynastix. They've been going on throughout this time with the Zoom classes, very successful Zoom classes with Babynastix because the mom does the class aptly with the baby. We've got Babynastix franchise sales pending at the moment. And of course then Cybernastix, our newest brand that we launched even before the lockdown. Having our program, all our expertise, our online assessment, videos, everything online for the parents that's not going back to school, or the kids that's not going back to school, or it's not area-based anymore, it's now global. So you can have kids from Spain attending your class in Cape Town. So very excited about that, and also very excited and supportive towards the nursery schools that have gone back. We don't want to be a stress for them. We want to make it easier for them to relieve some of that stress and work with the kids that at the school in order to build up the momentum going forward and into 2021.
And you've also got Nannyynastix now that you've launched. So that's even
not officially, but it's in the pipeline. Our Nannyynastix, super excited about that. A training course online for nannies at home in order to equip them with the skills that they need to basically present our program with our custom design classes at home for the kids. Very excited about it.
Wow, so a lot of franchise opportunities out there. Monkeynastix is definitely making it happen. And I'm just going to ask Dirk quickly to share about that franchise opportunity. What does it look like? Who's best suited to it? And yes, what do you need to become a Monkeynastix franchisee?
You know, basically a Monkeynastix or Babynastix franchisee. Let's start with Monkeynastix. You need to have a passion for children and for education. And you need to live a sort of a fitness lifestyle. You don't have to be a personal trainer, but just think about being fit and a healthy lifestyle. And our Babynastix franchises are moms that with babies, or you know, there's always a group. If you have a friend, everybody's got babies at the same time. So perfect profile if you had a baby, or if you can have a baby. Perfect profile for a Babynastix franchisee. And Cybernastix, you know, you don't physically have to be physically fit and active to own a Cybernastix franchisee. All you need to do is maybe be equipped with social media skills, marketing skills. So to run a successful Cybernastix franchise, you're going to be more marketing orientated. We're providing all the content. So all you have to do is market that platform. And we're offering the first Cybernastix franchisees at a huge discounted price.
Okay, that sounds very, very good. So you're going to find out what the price is and go and speak to Dirk all about Monkeynastix and what they have to offer. So yes, you know, life doesn't have to end right there. If you've lost your job, you might be unemployed, or something's changed, or you know, a lot of the times it might be a wake-up call because you knew your road was coming to an end. There's a lot of times I've experienced, and I've seen this in my own life, where I've hung on to something that I knew was coming to an end, but I didn't want to let it go because it's too safe. It's easier to stay in it than to try and change or to make that step forward. And sometimes you just have to take that leap, even if it's a phone call, even if it's a chat, just to explore different opportunities. So it's again nice to have Dirk with us today. And what has FASA membership meant for Monkeynastix?
You know, I think during this time and also before, the generation of parents and the generation of franchisees we are dealing with, they are looking for credibility. So if they hear Monkeynastix, they won't call me first. They will first go online and Google Monkeynastix and get information about our website and this and that. And because being a registered member of FASA, and we've been a full registered member of FASA for probably 20 years, it's very good credibility. And people want that. And people know that we abide by the FASA Code of Ethics and Business Practice. And then people have a sense of security. So it's meant really a heck of a lot to us to be associated or a full member of FASA.
Yeah, people forget about that side, the accreditation or the part of being associated with ethical business. You know, there's a lot of sharks out there and a lot of people are doing a lot of stuff, and sometimes not always intentionally. But, you know, or people have a fallout and they have a bad experience. So, yes, that is where FASA does come in and offer that mediation, does offer that support and credibility, as you're saying. And, you know, you were saying something earlier. I was reading something on Google Think yesterday. Do you know that 78% of people, that's a lot, of consumers have spent more time researching a brand or product online than they've actually gone to walk in a store. So quite a large percentage. So we don't actually realize how important that online profile is, how important it is to be associated with people and with brands that do good business together. People see things and they observe things more than you realize. Yeah. So yes, just bear that in mind. And I'm glad you shared that with us. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So also just a thought around that, talking about brand awareness, that's been, I want to say, our primary focus on social media since the lockdown, to not disappear. We had staff, my executive team worked day and night and weekends with our Olympic theme during July. During August, we focusing on mental and physical health. We're going to continue that into September. So there's been so much consistency and brand awareness on social media that I haven't seen our competitors with so much brand awareness. So
it's interesting you say that, because I've observed competition.
Thank you.
And I've seen that. Seen how some has taken on, embraced it and utilized it. You know, instead, even if you're not open yet, you can't function, you could utilize that time online to see how you can reposition your brand, strengthen your brand, because I cannot tell you how long it goes having that brand representation online, giving extra time and care to positioning yourself as a thought leader, or positioning yourself as a credible business, or positioning yourself so that people notice you and are aware of you. And people often forget that one article, once published, is there for a lifetime. One video, once published, is there for a lifetime, ready to be shared, ready to be utilized. Yes, the initial expense is there, and yes, it's time consuming, but it's vitally important to your business going forward, especially moving into the Industry 4.0 with 5G, smart technology, artificial intelligence. All these things are going to come more and more and more into our lives. We may not see it now, but I'm telling you, in about 3 to 5 years, the world's going to look a very different place. If you look at those sci-fi movies online, when I look at what's out there and what's happening, I go, oh my gosh, I'm going to have the same experience as Sylvester Stallone with a machine that's not working.
Let me tell you, every night when I go outside to take my little dog for a wee, I'm looking up to see when the aliens are coming. So we're on the same.
Yeah, that's very true. I'm also waiting for that. Or you're going to open your door and a drone's going to be doing your delivery. You know, here's your package delivered by a drone.
No, for sure. We're there. We are absolutely there.
We are there. And so we've run out of time once again. Always lovely chatting to Dirk. And Christelle just mentioned a message from Sherelle Christelle. She says, we have brilliant leadership and franchise support from our head office. We are blessed to be part of the Monkeynastix team. You know, they always say it's what the people say about you. So there you go. It's not from Dirk's mouth, but from a franchisee. So once again, thank you for joining us. FASA is a organization that promotes and supports ethical franchising across all South Africa. We offer support in franchising. We've got books on the store on how to franchise your business, how to evaluate a franchise business. So go have a look at those, worth the buy if you're looking to start out in franchising. Always do your research, always do your homework, spend time online, be one of those 78% people, because knowing what you, getting information is really knowledge. With knowledge, it becomes easier, is what I say. So thank you everyone for joining us, and have a wonderful week further, whatever it is you're doing.
Thank you, Romany. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.